In the wild, the tide of any confrontation can turn in a matter of seconds. Speed, strength, coordination, or a well-timed decision can create a decisive advantage. From territorial disputes to tense chases, no animal is ever truly safe. When two survival instincts clash head-on, what determines which one must retreat? During the dry season in Ruaha, African buffaloes often congregate around the remaining water sources scattered across the savanna and grasslands. They live in herds, remaining constantly alert to their surroundings and tending to support one another when a member is in danger. At a shallow watering hole, just as the herd lowered their heads to drink, lions lying in wait nearby began to fan out and silently close the distance. The rapidly shrinking gap instantly turned the hunt into a tense affair. Keeping their bodies low, the lions split up and focused their attention on a young buffalo at the edge of the herd. A lioness suddenly accelerated, forcing the youngster to change direction and seemingly creating an opening. However, the adult buffaloes immediately wheeled around in unison, charging straight toward the lions and quickly closing the gap. This fierce counterattack forced the lioness to constantly change direction, retreating while seeking an escape route from the encroaching buffaloes. Whenever she attempted to turn back toward her target, the adults stepped forward to shield the youngster, preventing it from being separated from the herd. As the pressure mounted, the lions lost any chance of closing in and were ultimately forced to withdraw from the area. The confrontation demonstrated that the buffalo's strength lies not only in its size or horns, but also in its ability to mount a coordinated, timely, collective response. While lions can gain an advantage through observation, strategic positioning, and bursts of speed, their plans fail when the entire herd turns to fight back. In this instance, the power of the herd directly compelled the lions to abandon the hunt. Across the savannas, grasslands, and scrublands of sub-Saharan Africa, particularly in East Africa, such as Kenya, spotted hyenas have adapted to a wide range of environments. They possess advanced social intelligence, enabling them to recognize individual members and hierarchy, as well as coordinate their actions within the clan structure. This capability was put to the test when an adult male lion paused to fix his gaze on a hyena, lingering near the edge of the group. Moments later, the lion suddenly accelerated, forcing the hyena to change direction and become separated from its kin. The clan reacted instantly. Multiple hyenas rushed in from both sides, repeatedly closing the distance before darting back to seek an opening for a rescue. At times, the lion had to pivot rapidly to counter the pressure from the surrounding crowd. Yet when repeated, aggressive approaches narrowed the gap significantly, momentarily offering the clan a chance to advance. However, the lion held his ground, constantly shifting his position to block other hyenas from reaching their isolated clanmate. After several failed rescue attempts, the pack began to back off, leaving the lion in control of the confrontation. The hyena's retreat demonstrated that while coordinated pack tactics can exert immense pressure, they are not always sufficient to overcome the physical dominance of an adult male lion. At close quarters, the risk of injury escalated with every approach. Ultimately, the clan was forced to abandon the rescue effort and withdraw. Inhabiting the grasslands, open woodlands, and scrublands of East and Southern Africa, impalas live near reliable water sources. They can reach speeds exceeding 55 miles per hour, leap over 10 feet high, and jump distances of around 33 feet, abilities that allow them to react swiftly to danger. However, amidst the dry grass ahead, a leopard is crouching low, silently closing the distance. Once within striking range, the leopard suddenly accelerates, forcing the impala to bolt and constantly change direction. The prey executes a long leap to create a gap and accelerates across the open ground, seemingly having escaped the pursuit. Yet, the leopard stays in close pursuit, adjusting its trajectory and waiting for the precise moment the impala lands to launch a final burst of speed. The moment of landing causes the gap to shrink rapidly. The impala attempts to change direction, but the leopard closes in to subdue it before the prey can create a new opening. The hunt ends in victory for the leopard. The impala becomes a vital source of sustenance, while the predator-prey cycle continues to maintain the ecosystem's balance. Across the savannas, grasslands, and scrublands of East and Southern Africa, lions possess massive bodies, broad chests, powerful shoulders, and heavily muscled forelimbs. These physical traits give them the upper hand when grappling with and subduing opponents at close quarters. Late in the day, a solitary male leopard ventured deep into a pride's territory. Within minutes, his presence was detected. The discovery caused the lions to immediately break formation. The leopard dashed through the undergrowth, constantly changing direction, and briefly found an opening to escape. However, another lion cut him off, forcing him to turn back while others closed in from behind. The rapidly shifting distance made it impossible for the leopard to maintain a steady escape route. The pressure mounted as the leopard was forced to dodge multiple lions, steadily losing his safety margin. He made one final burst of speed, weaving through the brush, and finally managed to break free of the area. The leopard escaped injured, while the pride halted the pursuit once their rival had been driven out of their territory. This confrontation demonstrated how physical advantages and coordinated action allow lions to dominate their habitat. While the leopard possessed speed and agility, his chances of fighting back diminished rapidly when facing multiple lions simultaneously. In this instance, the pride's aggressive territorial defense secured their advantage. Across the flooded forests, swamps, and riverbanks stretching from Central America to the Amazon and Pantanal, jaguars typically lead solitary lives. Their compact, broad bodies, powerful shoulders, thick necks, and well-developed jaws grant them immense strength at close quarters. On a sandy riverbank, two male jaguars unexpectedly spot one another. They stand facing off for a few seconds before slowly closing the gap. At close range, they lunge, clash, and break apart, only to press in again. One exerts strong pressure, forcing its rival to retreat a few steps, but the other quickly pivots to hold its ground. They trade advances and retreats in a brief yet tense struggle, until one slows down and voluntarily widens the distance. As the gap widens, the pace of the confrontation slackens. One jaguar retreats cautiously, pauses to observe, and then turns away. Its rival remains still, making no move to pursue. The encounter ends without injury, demonstrating that while jaguars are powerful, they know when to withdraw if a direct confrontation becomes too risky. Across the slow-moving rivers, swamps, and wetlands stretching from Central America to the Amazon and Pantanal, caimans spend much of their time submerged or resting on the banks. They hunt a variety of prey and typically rely on the water to escape danger. However, at a quiet riverbank, a caiman lies near the water's edge while a male jaguar begins to approach from behind. Utilizing riverside vegetation, the jaguar lowers his body, moving stealthily while constantly monitoring the caiman's reactions. The distance closes slowly until the jaguar suddenly accelerates, lunging forward before the caiman can retreat into deep water. The big cat quickly secures a grip on the caiman's head, subduing its opponent and dragging it away from the water's edge. Once the caiman loses the advantage of the water, the jaguar takes full control of the hunt, hauling the prey into the brush. This victory provides a high-energy meal, helping the jaguar maintain his strength for the days ahead. In the wild, the ability to observe, time one's actions, and seize opportunities is an instinct that directly determines survival. From the African savannas to the forests of Asia, snakes have adapted to diverse environments and generally lead solitary lives. When danger approaches, they rely on motion detection and rapid reflexes for self-defense. In an open area, a snake raises the front of its body upon spotting a mongoose circling it. This defensive posture causes the mongoose to hold back rather than rush in, opting instead to shift positions and observe. The snake lunges repeatedly at its adversary, but the mongoose nimbly dodges to the side and circles back, waiting for an opening. Just as the snake shifts direction, the mongoose suddenly accelerates and darts toward the snake's head. The approach seems to offer an advantage, but the snake reacts in time, instantly retracting its head and slithering rapidly away. The mongoose gives chase briefly, but fails to find another safe opportunity to close the distance. Ultimately, the snake escapes the area, and the mongoose's hunt ends unsuccessfully. The outcome demonstrates how agility enables the mongoose to dodge, change direction, and time its approach with great speed. However, speed does not guarantee a successful hunt when the snake maintains its ability to react. In this encounter, the mongoose held the advantage in maneuverability, but failed to secure its target. From the power of the pack, speed, and ambush tactics to territorial disputes, every confrontation demonstrates that animals must constantly assess risks to survive. Some secure food while others are forced to retreat, yet every decision is rooted in instinct and adaptability. In the wild, strength provides an advantage, but choosing the right moment is what determines who remains standing. On the vast savanna, a lion's hunt does not begin with speed, but with a moment of almost imperceptible control. They do not move continuously. Instead, they hold their position, waiting for the right rhythm to close the gap. When a lapse occurs, movement erupts, and the hunt concludes in a flash. But what truly determines that moment of action? On the African savanna, lions maintain an advantage thanks to a physique optimized for controlling distance rather than long-distance speed. Their well-developed shoulder and chest musculature, combined with powerful forelimbs, generates a short, explosive burst of force when closing in on a target. Massive jaws and sharp fangs allow them to secure a firm grip on prey the moment they get close enough. However, physical strength is only one component of their hunting strategy. In reality, lions spend the majority of their time observing, memorizing the terrain, and selecting an approach angle that accounts for wind direction and lighting conditions. They patiently wait for a slip-up, then coordinate their actions based on distinct roles to close the gap before striking in a brief, decisive moment. Across the African savannas, particularly in Kenya, zebras congregate in large herds as they make seasonal migrations to watering holes. Their approach to these water sources dictates how they navigate the dangers of the grasslands. While they can reach speeds of 60 to 65 kilometers per hour and sustain that pace for a considerable time, lowering their heads to drink significantly impairs their visibility. This recurring moment creates a brief yet exploitable vulnerability. This vulnerability manifests right at the water's edge, where the lion is already lying in wait. Rather than chasing from afar, the predator conceals itself near the bank, remaining motionless as the herd draws near. As individual zebras break slightly from the formation to reach the water, the distance is already set. The lion lunges at the precise moment, closing the gap in just a few swift strides. Because the distance is bridged while the prey is still stationary, the zebra cannot reach top speed in time. The lion maintains the advantage of close proximity, controlling the movement within a confined space. The prey reacts, but lacks the open ground needed to escape. The outcome is quickly decided in the lion's favor, and the frantic motion rapidly subsides. The ensuing calm restores tranquility to the water. The trail of movement ends at the bank, marking the spot where the gap was closed. Ultimately, the pride holds the advantage. The source of sustenance is secured, and the ecosystem's balance continues to play out. It is not distance, but the level of vigilance that determines how wildebeest stay safe on the savanna. With keen sight, hearing, and smell, they detect danger rapidly and rarely initiate aggression. Their docile nature keeps the herd constantly watchful for any unusual movement. This state of perpetual alertness creates brief, critical windows of reaction moments where slight lapses can occur. These fleeting lapses persist long enough to be exploited. The lioness does not approach directly. Instead, she moves crosswind, keeping low behind the terrain and observing the herd's shifts in direction. When a single animal falls out of sync and drifts slightly from the moving stream, the gap is set. Instantly, the lioness shifts gears, surging forward in a short burst to cut across the prey's path. This interception abruptly shatters the distance between them. The wildebeest cannot regroup in time, while the lioness maintains close proximity, blocking escape routes and keeping the pressure on as they run. The prey reacts within a confined space, but fails to create the necessary gap. The outcome is swift victory goes to the lioness, and the frantic motion abruptly slows. This deceleration ripples through the surrounding landscape. The savanna returns to a state of calm. The trail of movement halts at the very spot where the gap was lost. The final outcome favors the pride. A vital food source is secured, and the ecosystem's balance continues to turn. It is body structure, not endurance, that dictates how the cheetah survives on the open savanna. With their elongated bodies, long legs, and powerful musculature, they can reach speeds of 100 to 120 kilometers per hour and accelerate explosively in mere seconds. Yet, this advantage is fleeting. As breathing grows labored and speed drops, the gap between predator and prey becomes precarious, creating a momentary opening. That brief opening emerges when an injured individual breaks away from the group. Behind it, a male lion maintains his distance, waiting for the pace to slacken. From an angle, a second lion moves in, stealthily, yet decisively enough to cut off the escape route. Within moments, the space ahead narrows and pressure mounts from both sides, forming a pincer movement. This pincer formation prevents the cheetah from regaining top speed. It attempts to surge forward, but fails to create the necessary space. The two approaching lions hold their positions, gradually slowing the tempo. The gap vanishes rapidly. The outcome is sealed, and an instant victory belongs to the lions as the prey's movement falters and the momentum of the chase dies out. As the chase subsides, a hush falls over the area. Calm returns to the landscape, and the trail ends exactly where the gap had closed. The lions have tipped the scales. The ecosystem's order continues to unfold. It is not speed, but rather daily habits that determine how the warthog survives on the grasslands. Distributed across sub-Saharan Africa, with significant populations in South Africa, they inhabit open savannas, rarely venturing into dense forests or harsh environments. When kneeling to graze, the warthog lowers its line of sight. This delay in reaction time sacrifices situational awareness, creating a brief, silent window where a confrontation begins to take shape. That fleeting silence is the very signal the lioness has been tracking for hours. She flattens her body, slips through the tall grass, gauges the wind, and inches closer. As the warthog keeps its head down longer than usual, the gap narrows to a critical, dangerous threshold. The lioness instantly shifts her pace, launching into a short, explosive sprint to cut off the prey's path and force a reactive response. That forced reaction causes the gap to vanish in a split second, rapidly altering the dynamic. A brief chase ensues. The lioness stays tight on the warthog's heels, steering its movement and funneling it toward a narrow escape route. With its stride disrupted and direction controlled, the prey loses its lead. The end comes swiftly, a victory for the lioness, followed by a moment of stillness in the wake of the action. That stillness ripples out into the surrounding landscape. The trail of movement halts exactly where the gap had closed. The outcome is sealed in the lioness's favor. A vital source of nourishment is secured, and the ecosystem's balance continues its cycle. On the sub-Saharan African savanna, particularly in South Africa, buffalo maintain tight herd formations to control their living space. This structure enables rapid reactions in an open environment. While generally calm when unthreatened, they shift to an aggressive state and may launch a direct counterattack upon sensing danger. This transition gives rise to brief yet decisive clashes. Such conflicts become particularly evident when an individual strays from the herd. The pride does not approach from a single direction, but fans out, maintaining distance while cutting off the animal's retreat. By the time the buffalo detects their presence, the encirclement has already begun to close. There is no solitary charge. Instead, the lions press in simultaneously, forcing the target to constantly change direction. This constant turning prevents the buffalo from mounting a sustained counterattack. Although it attempts to gore and hold its ground, pressure from multiple angles gradually erodes its control. The lions maintain close proximity through coordinated movements, systematically restricting their prey's mobility. After a fierce struggle, the pride emerges victorious, and the frenetic motion begins to subside. The pace of movement slows as the pressure lifts and the area stabilizes. The formation breaks apart and the coordinated directional flow dissolves. Ultimately, the pride secures the advantage. the food source is obtained, and the natural cycle of the ecosystem continues. In the acacia-dotted woodlands of Africa, the giraffe holds the advantage thanks to its towering height and expansive field of vision. As the world's tallest land animal, it dominates the vertical space. Yet, this very stature creates a lag when changing direction, a brief moment of hesitation when closely pursued. This vulnerability is exposed when a pride of lions executes a coordinated, layered maneuver. One individual takes the lead to force a change in direction, while others shift along the outer perimeter to constrict the giraffe's turning radius. Once a lion latches onto the rear, the others close in, creating a multi-point pincer formation. This pressure disrupts the giraffe's rhythm of response. It kicks and pivots frantically, yet every shift in axis lags behind the lion's coordinated movements. Its range of motion steadily narrows. After a brief struggle, the outcome is sealed. The pride prevails as the collective motion slows and subsides. The slowing of movement brings a settling calm. Sounds fade, and the momentum of the chase dissipates. Tracks come to a halt, where the pressure finally ceased. The ultimate outcome is determined by the pride. A vital food source is secured, and the ecosystem continues its cycle. In nature, hyenas approach their targets strategically, closing the distance and waiting for the opportune moment to launch a decisive attack. However, not every approach results in an effective strike, and even a small misstep can derail the entire approach. These failed attack moments clearly demonstrate the limitations of instinct when timing and reflexes are out of sync. In open areas, hyenas maintain close-knit packs and constant communication. Each hyena weighs approximately 90 to 140 pounds, and their strong jaws and high endurance allow them to sustain pursuits for extended periods. Their group coordination allows them to split direction, apply pressure, and control the space around their target. These factors make hyenas one of the most effective predators. However, not every attack is successful. If the target changes direction in time or breaks the distance, the entire approach can be disrupted. When the advantage is not maintained, the hyena pack is forced to adjust or give up. In their natural environment, lions maintain very clear territorial control behavior. An adult lion weighs approximately 300 to 420 pounds, possesses quick reflexes, and has the ability to handle situations at close range. Lions not only hunt, but also constantly monitor and protect their surrounding space. When an intruder is detected, the reaction occurs almost immediately without preparation. At the edge of the area, the hyena pack begins to advance and narrow the distance cautiously. Intrusion into a dangerous zone creates a misstep from the very first step. The moment the distance is broken, the lions react quickly and exert pressure from multiple directions.
Wow, poor lion.
The hyenas can no longer maintain a safe distance and are constantly being pressured. Their movement is disrupted, and they are no longer able to organize their formation effectively. A misstep in the initial approach renders the entire effort irreversible. The approach ends in a disadvantageous position as the hyena is forced to retreat under direct pressure. In territorial situations, the goal is not hunting, but control and deterrence. Lions maintain their advantage through quick reflexes and clear spatial pressure. When the initial timing is lost, the outcome is almost predetermined. In a dry, poorly sheltered environment, the warthog maintains constant vigilance and always remembers the nearest escape route. Weighing approximately 110 to 220 pounds, the warthog moves quickly and can accelerate to nearly 30 miles per hour in short bursts. Its curved tusks are used to maintain distance and prevent close-range attacks. Its quick reflexes prevent it from becoming passive when pressure builds. From multiple directions, the hyenas form a circle and close in on the warthog. Their attack directions are constantly changing, aiming to apply pressure and wear down the warthog's stamina. The distance is gradually reduced, but no stable point of contact is established. The warthog continuously turns and reacts at close range, preventing the hyenas from getting too close. The pressure persists, with both sides locked in a prolonged standoff without a clear resolution. As their stamina wanes, the hyenas are forced to temporarily retreat and maintain a distance, observing. Not every attack yields immediate results. This is a battle of physical strength, mental fortitude, and patience over a long period. When breaking the distance becomes impossible, retreat becomes a necessary decision. On the water's edge, the crocodile basks in the sun to regulate its temperature while maintaining a state of readiness. Its body is almost motionless, but its reflexes are constantly monitoring its surroundings. In the right environment, the crocodile doesn't need to move much to maintain its advantage. While the hyena moves normally and isn't on guard, the distance is shortened without realizing the danger. From underwater, the crocodile suddenly lunges forward, making immediate contact without any warning. The hyena's reaction time slows down as the situation changes too quickly. The hyena tries to twist and turn in resistance, but cannot maintain its position as it is pulled toward the water. The altered space causes a loss of control, and attempts to escape are ineffective. The confrontation ends quickly with the crocodile having a clear advantage in its environment. In areas without hiding places, African wild dogs rely entirely on pack coordination to maintain their advantage. They maintain a stable formation and move in a unified rhythm throughout the approach. Pressure is continuously maintained by changing direction, not depending on a single close approach. This synchronization helps control the rhythm and forces the opponent to react constantly. Near food sources, hyenas observe and look for an opportune moment to approach. Wild dogs approach but maintain distance, creating psychological pressure and forcing the hyenas to divert attention. When a hyena breaks away, a gap immediately appears in the formation. Wild dogs encircle and increase their movement rhythm, constantly changing direction around the target. The hyenas turn to defend from multiple directions, but cannot maintain the counterattack rhythm. The pressure reverses. The hyenas lose control and are forced to retreat at a disadvantage. The gap that just appeared was enough to prevent the entire team from recovering. In such a confrontation, coordination and control of the tempo are crucial to the outcome. When the timing is unfavorable, the initial advantage cannot be maintained. A small misstep is enough to change the entire course of the game. During their seasonal migration, wildebeests maintain precise navigation and constant observation. Their danger detection reflexes are very quick, allowing them to adjust their position at the first sign of change. When being followed, they can hold their position and assess the situation instead of fleeing immediately. This vigilance helps maintain a safe distance throughout the migration. Hyenas approach from behind, probing the wildebeest's reaction, not charging directly. The distance is gradually reduced to find weaknesses before launching an attack. Pressure increases as the direction of movement narrows, but the target remains in position and observes. The wildebeest suddenly advances, accelerating and using its horns to maintain close proximity. The approach is reversed. The hyena switches to defense and fails to maintain pressure. This moment of hesitation causes the hyena to completely lose the initiative. The confrontation ended when the hyena retreated, while the wildebeest maintained the initiative thanks to its quick reflexes and decision not to run away. In a dry, poorly sheltered environment, the honey badger maintains a highly flexible and unpredictable behavior. It doesn't maintain a fixed direction of movement and constantly turns to face a threat. When under pressure, its attack reflexes occur immediately, without hesitation. Its ability to withstand blows helps it maintain its position instead of fleeing. From multiple directions, the hyenas form a team and try to control the surrounding space. They attempt to approach step by step, but don't concentrate their force, as they haven't identified a clear weak point. The pressure gradually increases, but they fail to create a stable point of contact as the target always maintains its facing direction. The honey badger continuously turns and reacts at close range, disrupting all approaches. The hyenas lose their rhythm, expending energy without making any progress. Each attempt to approach is thwarted, preventing them from accumulating an advantage. The confrontation ended when the hyena was forced to retreat after several failed attempts to approach. In open spaces, elephants maintain very strong social bonds and remember the risks around them. Their intelligence helps them identify danger early and adjust their position as soon as it changes. When threatened, the herd quickly forms a protective circle and maintains distance from all approaching directions. Their coordinated abilities turn the formation into a living shield, minimizing contact points. The hyena pack splits into groups to approach, one group distracting and another attempting to get closer. Gaps appear when the baby elephants temporarily separate, creating brief opportunities for approach. Pressure builds rapidly, but the elephant group maintains its rhythm and blocks all approaching directions. The mother elephant immediately returns, applying strong pressure and restoring the protective formation. The hyenas lose their rhythm, fail to maintain distance, and are forced to retreat. The attack ended when the elephants' social bonds were restored and they gained complete control of the space. These confrontations demonstrate that no predator holds an absolute advantage. Each species has its own way of reacting when pushed into a dangerous situation. When instinct meets unexpected reflexes, the outcome can change completely. In nature, victory always belongs to the one that adapts at the right time.